Part 69. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 681. After arriving on Earth, Mr. Fengzi began to sweep across the ancient martial arts world on Earth. He went to the place of Zen, between mountains and seas, Mount Bodhi, Mount Imei, and many other places. With his peak nascent soul strength, there is no doubt that he can win them all. But some people made Master Fengzi suffer, and it took a lot of effort to defeat them. For example, Shi Hehan, the master of Mount Tai in the land of Fengchen, although he is only at the peak of martial arts, his fighting power is really amazing. That day, Mr. Fengzi was deeply impressed. After arriving at Mount Tai, he stood on the top of the mountain and spoke out, asking the strongest person in Mount Tai to come out to fight him. As a result, Shi Hehan came out. Regarding the ancient martial arts system, it exists not only on the Earth, but also in other star regions. Mr. Fengzi has followed Immortal Emperor Yanlong for many years and has a certain understanding of the ancient martial arts system. He could tell at a glance that Shi Hehan was only at the peak of martial arts, and only at the peak of the cultivation system. But he was already at the peak of nascent soul, so he didn't take Shi Hehan seriously. And before Mr. Fengzi came to Earth, he received an order from Immortal Emperor Yanlong not to kill the powerful ancient warriors on Earth. Immortal Emperor Yanlong should be studying and analyzing the roots of the ancient martial arts system. Even Immortal Emperor Yanlong wants to study the system. Now that the opportunity is in front of him, Master Fengzi will naturally not miss it. So, he lowered his level and started a battle with Shi Hehan at the peak of the Dan formation. Everything was fine at first, and the two of them fought back and forth, which can prove that the martial master realm of the ancient martial arts system is indeed comparable to the alchemy formation of the cultivation system. However, after Shi Hehan used the Taishan magic skill, everything became different. Mr. Fengzi is a confidant of Immortal Emperor Yanlong. He has already entered the realm of God transformation before, so he must have hidden his trump card. However, despite all his efforts, he could not defeat the giant Shi Hehan who had used the Taishan magic kung fu, so he was suppressed and beaten throughout the whole process. It could be said that he was completely defeated. Mr. Fengzi only lasted 100 rounds before he was shot down by Shi Hehan. Finally, he lifted the seal, unleashed all his power, and easily defeated Shi Hehan at the peak level of nascent soul. If we are in the equal realm, you will definitely not be my opponent. Even if I can step into the realm of martial saint, you will not be able to defeat me. After losing, Shi Hehan sighed deeply. It's a pity that Yu's transformation time is too short, 3 years. If you give me another 3 years, you are not qualified to be my opponent. To this, Master Fengzi did not refute, and even nodded in agreement. Because he could clearly feel that after Shi Hehan used his secret technique to expand his body, both his energy and strength increased exponentially. He was almost invincible in the same realm. Later, Mr. Fengzi went to the mountains and seas, and in the same way, he lowered his realm to challenge the old man of Lishan. The result was the same. Mr. Fengzi lost to the old man of Lishan and was defeated miserably. After that, he went to Bodhi Mountain, Mount Imei. Along the way, he lowered his realm and failed. Originally, Mr. Fengzi did not underestimate the ancient martial arts system. After this challenge, he paid more attention to the ancient martial arts system. In the boundless void, there are not only the Earth and the Xiantian star field, but also many star fields. Later, the most powerful person in the Jinwu star territory is the ultimate martial emperor, so powerful that even the flame dragon Immortal Emperor is afraid of him. Master Fengzi is very aware of all this. In short, he has never underestimated the ancient martial arts system. Therefore, Mr. Fengzi did not act rashly, but made an agreement. Jufeng Mountain. That star domain is the true martial star domain, and all the powerful people are ancient warriors, and no one is cultivating. Immortal Emperor Yanlong wants to study the Earth's ancient martial arts system, probably just to understand these, hoping to find the weaknesses of the ancient martial arts system. Before retreating, he had already sent the ancestors of the Xiahe family to challenge Wu Qingying. Xiahe Wu, the ancestor of the Xiahe family, was calling for formation at the foot of Zhifeng Mountain. In this way, he can go to the Jinwu Star territory to seek revenge from the martial emperor, and take away the great Dao fruit of the Jinwu Star territory. Wu Qingying of Zhifeng Mountain was once regarded as the #1 person in the ancient martial arts. Now that the ancient martial arts has successfully reformed, its strength must not be weak. Although he had lived for hundreds of years and was buried up to his neck in loess, Xiahou Wu was still full of energy, exuding a heart-stopping aura all over his body. After failing that time, Emperor Yanlong set his sights on the earth. Unfortunately, the earth was not as simple as it seemed, so Emperor Yanlong's plan never came to fruition. Although this realm has not yet set foot on a true pill formation, it is comparable to the true peak of pill formation, and can even compete with the early stage of nascent soul. He had speculated that it was possible that the Earth was a branch of the Jinwu Star territory, or that there was a powerful person from the Jinwu Star territory who visited the Earth and left the ancient martial arts system's cultivation methods on the Earth. At this time, when they saw Xiahou Wu's provocation, they all fell silent and retreated. The ancient martial arts system appeared on the Earth, which surprised the Yanlong immortal emperor and made the Earth more mysterious. Thousands of years ago, Master Fengzi accompanied immortal Emperor Yanlong to a star region where martial arts were respected. There was no helper besides Xiahou Wu. Facing Zhifeng Mountain, he coldly provoked, "Don't you claim to be the #1 in the ancient martial arts world? Why do you need to be a coward?" Certainly. During this period, he adjusted his breath and calmed his mind, fighting against Wu Qingying at his peak state. At the same time, he allowed people to test Wu Qingying's true identity. These people all come from the ancient martial arts sects of major famous mountains. Because they are afraid of the 10 ancient clans and powerful people from outside the region, but are unwilling to surrender to the enemy, they come here to seek protection from Zhifeng Mountain. Back then, Zhao from the Western family had the 6th level fake elixir, and could compete with the mid to late stage Jidan. Wu Qingying, come out and fight. In the fake elixir realm, every turn requires a narrow escape from death. Among the 10 ancient clans, not every family has a 9-turn fake elixir, which is enough to prove the power of the ancestors of the Xiahe family. A 9-turn fake elixir's real combat power must be above that of the elixir formation. He may lose to the early stage of nascent soul, but he will definitely lose by a narrow margin. Cultivation systems are prevalent in most star regions, and some star regions are technologically advanced. Humans can use the power of mechas to shatter the void and conquer the world. Naturally, there are also star regions that practice ancient martial arts systems. His face was covered with wrinkles, and his long white hair was messy and yellow, unkempt. Some of these star areas have no cultivation system or ancient martial arts system. Everyone is ordinary. At most, through exercise, their physical fitness is better, and they cannot transcend the category of ordinary people. Zhifeng Mountain was surrounded by ancient warriors who came to seek refuge with Wu Qingying. These are unknown. The ancestor of the Xiahe family is in the realm of the 9 revolution false pill. At this moment, that time Emperor Yanlong went there in order to seize the great Dao fruit of the Jinwu Star region, but was repulsed by a martial emperor from the Jinwu Star region. This shows how powerful the ancient martial arts system is when it reaches its end. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 682. Xiahou Wu, the ancestor of the Xiahe family among the 10 ancient clans, isn't he from the Ming dynasty? 500 or 600 years have passed, and he is still alive. A cultivator cannot set foot in the realm of pill formation. How could he, a cultivator in the foundation building realm, live so long? The fake elixir realm can also increase lifespan. It is said that among the 10 ancient clans, there are 3 9-turn fake elixirs, and Xiaohu is one of them. Xiaohu, Dongfang Immortal, and Zao, these 3 are all 9-turn fake elixirs, but Zao of the 11 family, for some unknown reason, has fallen to the 6th turn elixir level. There are only 2 9-turn elixirs among the 10 ancient clans. Turn fake elixir. I don't know what level of ancient warrior the 9-turn fake pill is, and whether senior Wu Qingying can defeat it. I'm afraid it won't work. Xiaohu has called the formation for so long and Wu Qingying has not come out. Hey, it seems that we have defected to the wrong person. Zhifeng Mountain itself cannot be protected. In this case, it is better to surrender directly to the outside world and seek a chance of survival. Shut up, the outsiders are so ambitious. Even if we die in battle, we will never bow down. Yes, I would rather die than surrender. He he. At this time, Xiaohu looked around at the people in the distance, raised the corner of his mouth slightly and said, Wu Qingying, you haven't come out yet. Okay, then, today I will go on a killing spree and let the blood dye Zhifeng Mountain red. As soon as the words fell, Xiaohu was about to take action, with strong killing intent emerging from his eyes. Why? Xiaohu, I didn't want to fight with you, so why do you do this? At this moment, Wu Qingying and Qian Sha came through the air and landed steadily in front of Xiaohu. Among them, Wu Qingying was leaning on a cane and looking at Xiaohu with a calm expression, without the slightest fear. There was no trace of breath on her body, just like an ordinary old man. But just by standing here, Wu Qingying had a powerful intimidating force that made everyone at the scene feel at ease. Snort. Wu Qingying, you are finally willing to come out. Xiaohu stared at Wu Qingying, raised a sneer at the corner of his mouth, and said in a deep voice, come on, let me try to see if you are qualified to be the first person in ancient martial arts. Master Fengzi asked you to test me, right? Wu Qingying did not take action, but asked lightly. Xiaohu did not answer. I know even if you don't tell me, it must be him. Wu Qingying smiled softly and said, he made an appointment with me to have a serious fight at Zhifeng Mountain tomorrow, but now, he asked you to die. It seems that he is not confident in his own strength. Haha, Wu Qingying, you think too highly of yourself. Xiaohu smiled disdainfully and said, Master Fengzi is at the peak of nascent soul, so how can he be afraid of you? According to the comparison between the two systems, you must at least be a martial saint before you can fight Master Fengzi. Xiaohu smiled playfully and said, the transformation of ancient martial arts has only taken half a year. Even if you have accumulated a lot of accumulation and exploded, so what, in half a year, can you still set foot in the martial arts? Even if you are really a martial saint, you still can't defeat Lord Fengzi. He is at the peak of nascent soul, Xiaohu emphasized. Wu Qingying smiled and shook her head. She did not wonder why Xiaohu came, but simply said, if you want to challenge me, let's start. I also want to see the so-called 9-turn fake pill. He he. Xiaohu squinted his eyes slightly and sneered, Wu Qingying, tomorrow's battle between you and Mr. Fengzi will be the highlight. Let's stop here today. You and I only have one move to decide the outcome. It won't affect your fight tomorrow, so you won't be unconvinced after losing to Master Fengzi. How about that? Xiaohu suggested. Can. Wu Qingying nodded, acquiescing. Good. Seeing that Wu Qingying agreed, Xiaohu immediately kneaded the secrets with both hands to mobilize the spiritual energy in his body. Buzz. In an instant, endless spiritual energy emerged and condensed into a long knife, which was placed in front of Xiaohu. If the spiritual energy sword had substance, it would be so powerful that even the space would tremble when it appeared. So scary. Is this the strength of the 9 revolution fake pill? I'm afraid even the peak martial master may not be able to withstand it. It has only been half a year since the ancient martial arts revolution. Among the mountain masters and sect leaders in the ancient martial arts world, almost no one can reach the peak of martial arts. Senior Wu Qingying has never really made a move. That Fengzi master is naturally afraid of Senior Wu Qingying, so he asked Xiahe ancestor Xiahe Wu to test the depth of Senior Wu Qingying. Hey, our expectations for Senior Wu Qingying are too high. I'm afraid she was defeated by Xiahe Wu before she could even wait for Master Fengzi. Many ancient warriors who had fled the scene were talking a lot, and they obviously didn't think highly of Wu Qingying. The first person in Gewu, take the move. At this time, Xiahe Wu showed a sneer, and then with a thought, the spiritual sword cut through the void and attacked at an astonishing speed. Wu Qingying, on the other hand, stood motionless, seemingly unresponsive. Snored. You can't even block my attack. How can you compete with Mr. Fengzi? He is the number one in ancient martial arts and is just trying to gain fame. When Xiahe Wu saw this, there was a hint of disappointment in his eyes, and he turned to say in a deep voice, "Forget it, let me kill you to save you the embarrassment tomorrow." Then, Xiahe Wu controlled the spiritual sword and drove straight in, hoping to kill Wu Qingying in one fell swoop. Buzz. But just when the spiritual energy sword was about to touch Wu Qingying, a barrier made of condensed true energy suddenly appeared in front of Wu Qingying. With this barrier in front of Wu Qingying, the spiritual sword could no longer move forward. Seeing this scene, Xiahe Wu frowned slightly and controlled the spiritual energy sword again, intending to break through the true energy defense. "Give it to me, let go." At the same time, Wu Qingying slightly raised the crutch in his hand and slowly dropped it to the ground. Boom! In an instant, a terrifying force spread out in ripples with Wu Qingying as the center. The scene was suddenly filled with dust and gravel. Zheng. At this moment, the aura sword exposed by Xiahe Wu Mimi suddenly collapsed and disappeared without a trace. Puff. Immediately afterwards, Xiahe Wu took 2 steps back. After stabilizing his figure, he opened his mouth and spat out a pool of blood, his face slightly pale. Wow! This scene immediately shocked everyone, and the scene was filled with excitement. Everyone looked at Wu Qingying with awe in their eyes. What a terrifying strength! I lost this battle, but Wu Qingying, don't be complacent. Tomorrow Mr. Fengzi will come to Jufeng Mountain. By then, it will be your death. A flash of joy flashed in Xiahe Wu's eyes, but on the surface he stared at Wu Qingying coldly, and then jumped away from the scene. What kind of rubbish dares to come to Jufeng Mountain to challenge him? He doesn't know whether to live or die. Old woman, chase him, don't let him get away, said the Millennium Killer next to him. Forget it, Wu Qingying shook her head and said, let him go. Why, old woman, this person is so strong, keeping him must be a hidden danger, Jianqinsha asked doubtfully. The ancient martial arts revolution has begun, but the spiritual energy has not yet recovered. In order to strengthen the earth's strength, we must help the spiritual energy recover. Wu Qingying smiled softly and said, keep him, he may be useful in the future. This Xiahe Wu is a lackey from outside the territory. What's the use of keeping him? He will definitely prevent the spiritual energy from reviving, Millennium Kill said. No. Wu Qingying shook her head, then looked at the direction in which Xiahe Wu escaped, and whispered, no one expects the spiritual energy recovery to be successful more than the 9 turns false pill. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 683. The realm of fake elixirs is a realm created by cultivators on Earth out of desperation. Although it is not a pill formation, it has repeatedly condensed the golden elixir and broken itself, breaking and then standing up. As a result, the spiritual energy in the body is huge, and the physique has been greatly improved, so it can compete with the real pill formation. The 9-turn fake elixir requires 9 broken golden elixirs. Each time it is broken, it is a disaster of life and death, a narrow escape from death. Efforts and rewards are always equal. The 9-turn fake pill even surpasses the peak of the Jadan and can compete with the early stage of nascent soul. Even though he lost to the early stage of nascent soul, he wouldn't lose too badly. But this is the peak of the false elixir realm, and I can't take another step forward. The longevity of the 9 turns false pill also has great limitations. It can only live past 500 or 600 years, unless special techniques are practiced. Being a cultivator and being able to reach the realm of the 9-turn false pill is enough to prove how powerful his talent is and how deep his accumulation is. If one day, the golden elixir can be truly condensed, the realm will surely rise like a broken bamboo. The reason why it is extremely difficult for cultivators in the realm of pill formation to enter the nascent soul realm is because most cultivators cannot withstand the disaster of breaking the golden core. Only by breaking the golden elixir can one condense his own nascent soul and step into the realm of nascent soul. Cultivators in the fake elixir realm already have experience in breaking golden elixirs. Especially the 9-turn fake elixir, which has been broken 9 times. Isn't it easy to break through it again? It is no exaggeration to say that once the earth is not ominous and there is no suppression of the Great Road, there must be some cultivators in the false elixir realm who can cross the realm of elixir formation, directly condense the nascent soul, and achieve the nascent soul realm. This is due to their years of accumulation and accumulation. But nowadays, the earth has an ominous state, and no one dares to set foot in the true realm of alchemy. But if the spiritual energy is revived, it will be different. The earth will usher in a new prosperous age. Not only do you no longer have to worry about being troubled by bad luck, you can also have enough spiritual energy, and the earth will become a blessed place for cultivators. By then, the 9-turn fake pill will benefit the most, and its strength will skyrocket, just around the corner. Therefore, Xiaohe Wu of the Xiaohe family must be very eager to revive his spiritual energy. Wu Qingying was so shrewd that he naturally guessed this, so he let Xiaohe Wu go. Otherwise, with her strength, she could easily deal with Xiaohe Wu and leave him nowhere to hide. Resurrection of spiritual energy is so important, and everything that is useful for reviving spiritual energy must be utilized. 9-turn fake elixir hopes most that the spiritual energy will be revived. Qian Sha paused for a moment and soon understood. Then he flattered her and said, "Old woman, you are so wise. You just forced Xiaohe Wu back with one move. Have you stepped into the realm of the martial saint?" This time, Wu Qingying did not deny it, and nodded slightly. The realm of martial arts is really mysterious, and the ancient martial arts system is good. I wonder if I can defeat that young master Fengzi in tomorrow's battle. After talking to himself, Wu Qingying moved his eyes to scan the ancient warriors who came to seek refuge in the distance. When these people saw Wu Qingying, the number 1 person in ancient martial arts, looking at them, they were immediately excited, and then they all saluted. "I've met Senior Wu. I've met Senior Wu. I've met Senior Wu." Hundreds of people, roaring like a mountain and a tsunami, the momentum is overwhelming, and the cards are full. Wu Qingying nodded and said, "I will be happy that you can come to Zhifeng Mountain. At least it proves that you still have passion, have the backbone to be unyielding until death, and have not surrendered to outside forces. Don't worry. Even if I die in tomorrow's battle, I will take Master Fengzi away and restore peace to Zhifeng Mountain," Wu Qingying said lightly, but the pride in her words soared into the sky. "Senior Wu will definitely win. Senior Wu will definitely win. Senior Wu will definitely win." Someone spoke first, and then everyone excitedly echoed in unison. After Wu Qingying left, Qian raised his hands and said, "There are not many rooms in Zhifeng Mountain, so I won't invite you more. Please forgive me for the poor hospitality. Need not. Yes. Everyone, we are guests from afar. You are all very hungry. I have already sent people to purchase ingredients. There will be delicious meals for everyone to enjoy soon. Yes, it is because we defected that Mr. Fengzi regards Jufeng Mountain as the last pure land in the ancient martial arts world. Therefore, if we challenge Senior Wu, we will be grateful if Jufeng Mountain does not drive us away. Along the way, Su Yang saw that the Nangong family had decorated the morning hall, and many servants of the Nangong family were wearing white mourning clothes. Well, lead the way. Nangong Yu, who is this morning hall for? Su Yang asked curiously. Nangong Yu agreed excitedly, and then asked many masters of the Nangong family to guard outside, while he led the way. Finally, Wu Qingying sighed, her expression a little gloomy, and then her figure flickered and quickly disappeared from everyone's sight. It's just that after he died, I inevitably felt a little sad, so I arranged the funeral hall to send him on his last journey. Nangong family. Hearing this, Nangong Yu hesitated for a moment, and finally sighed and said, "Hey, after all, I have raised 13th Lang for 20 years. Although he is not my son, but, hey. Owner. After tomorrow, I don't know if anyone will step forward to protect the ancient martial arts world on my behalf, hey." The second day. As he spoke, Nangong Yu sighed again, with a trace of sadness in his eyes. Su Yang said calmly, "Take me there, don't waste time." "I killed 13th Lang, Nangong Yu, do you hate me?" Su Yang smiled softly. "Thank you to Jufeng Mountain for taking care of us. Otherwise, I'm afraid we would have been destroyed by the 10 ancient tribes. If we are lucky enough to escape this disaster, we will definitely not forget Jufeng Mountain's kindness." Reporting to the master, It's 13th Lang. Nangong Yu said in fear, "Master, if you mind, I will have the morning hall removed immediately." Su Yang shook his head, because he was bound to the soul contract. He naturally knew that Nangong Yu was not lying, so he said, "You are a very emotional person, so you can keep it in the morning hall, raise him for 20 years, and send him off for the last time. There is nothing wrong with it." Nangong Yu, the head of the Nangong family, dragged his half-disabled body out to greet him personally, accompanied by many masters of the Nangong family. Among these masters, the strongest ones are only second-level fake elixirs and have more peak foundation building peaks. Next, under the leadership of Nangong Yu, the two quickly arrived at the secret practice room. "Old leader, you're welcome. Our coming this time has already caused trouble to Jufeng Mountain. How dare we hope to enter Jufeng Mountain?" "Thank you, Master," Nangong Yu said gratefully, clasping his fists. Nangong Yu hurriedly said, "Master, it was you who made me see clearly the kind of person 13th Lang is. That day in the underground secret room, he treated me with contempt and disgust, which is still fresh in my memory. He did not regard me as his at all father. How could I hate you for him? No, no, no." Su Yang took a helicopter and returned to the Nangong family. "Yes." Nangong Yugong said respectfully, "I have asked Chang Feng's body to be placed in the secret practice room." Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 684. At this time, in the secret room, besides Chang Feng's body, there was a woman sitting cross-legged with her eyes slightly closed. The woman is wearing a flowing fairy dress with wide sleeves. She has a beautiful face. She has an appearance that would captivate a country. It is no exaggeration to describe her as beautiful and fragrant. She is Nangong Yue. She is practicing at the moment. She is holding the jade stone in her hands, and strands of spiritual energy are pouring into her body. "Master, this is our little girl Nangong Yue. Her cultivation talent is unparalleled by anyone in the Nangong family." Nangong Yu introduced, "Not long ago, my little girl has completed a broken golden elixir, and now she is in the first turn fake elixir realm. I know her. Back in Wudang Mountain, she stood with Dongfang Minjiao of the Dongfang family. I had a chance encounter with her. Su Yang smiled and turned his eyes to Nangang Yowei. He suddenly became very interested and looked at her carefully. Owner. When Nangang Yu saw this, he suddenly became excited and said, if you are interested in my daughter, you can let her serve you tonight. The little girl is still in the boudoir. She has never been married and is still innocent, Nangang Yu added. When Su Yang heard this, he withdrew his gaze and did not respond to the matter of sleeping with her. He just said, Nangang Yu, she is not your daughter, right? You two are not related by blood. Sure enough, I can't hide it from the master. Nangang Yu said truthfully, that's it, master, Nangang Yowei is the child picked up by my father Nangang Yin. She grew up in the Nangang family and is nominally my daughter. Not long ago, Mr. Fengzi came to the Nangang family and fell in love with Yowei at first sight. He even said that he would marry Yowei after returning from Jufeng Mountain. Nangang Yu continued, however, now that the master takes action, Master Fengzi will definitely die. Naturally, he will not be able to marry Yowei. If the master does not dislike it, he can take her into the house. This can be considered as my Nangang family's filial piety to you. No need to. Su Yang waved his hand, then smiled and said, this Mr. Fengzi has vicious eyes. He must have seen Nangang Yowei's good demeanor, so he wanted her. Not vulgar, Nangang Yu asked doubtfully, Master, how do you say this? Your daughter is not an ordinary person. If I read correctly, she is not even a human being. Su Yang looked at Nangang Yowei and said, she should be a piece of jade that has become conscious and absorbed the essence of heaven and earth, so she can transform into a human form. Nangang Yu, does your Nangang family have any treasures such as jade? Su Yang suddenly asked. This is. Nangang Yu did not hide anything and said truthfully, our Nangang family does have a treasure called Yin and Yang Pisces. This treasure has been controlled by my father Nangang Yin. About half a year ago, after the ancient martial arts revolution, the 10 major ancient clans held a meeting to discuss how to deal with the ancient martial arts world. My father went to attend on behalf of the Nangang family and never came back. Later we found his body. We don't know who killed him. Nangang Yu thought that Su Yang wanted the Yin and Yang Pisces, so he said, the Nangang family's most precious treasure, the Yin and Yang Pisces, also disappeared and is missing. After the ancient martial arts revolution. Su Yang grasped the key point and frowned, as early as in Wudang Mountain, before the ancient martial arts revolution, wasn't Nangang Yin already dead? If he was wiped out by me, how could he represent the Nangang family in the meeting of the 10 ancient clans? Won't. No, for me, using the power of jade is effective, but I don't need it. Nangang Yu explained, back in Wudang Mountain, the people you obliterated were just one of them. Leave this power to her. I think she is a talented person. After her spiritual energy is revived, she may be able to grow into a powerful master, Su Yang said while looking at Nangang Yowei. Su Yang looked at Nangang Yowei and smiled softly, this Nangang Yowei must be a Yin and Yang Pisces. Her soul is not a human, but a piece of jade. Nangang Yu thought for a while, and then said, there is a gap in strength between the double copied by Yin Yang Pisces and the real body. The Yin Yang Pisces transformed into a human form, which is equivalent to him losing the Yin Yang Pisces. The realm is quite. After all, Nangang Yowei had called him father for 20 years, so naturally he couldn't do that kind of thing. Nangang Yu suddenly realized, and then said respectfully, Master, in this case, instead of taking advantage of Master Fengzi, it is better for you to accept the power of this jade stone, which can be regarded as a vote of honor given to you by the Nangang family. P.S. This book has not yet reached its final stage. The story behind it will be even more exciting. The complete framework has been completed before writing, so don't worry. Su Yang continued, the reason why Mr. Fengzi wants to marry Nangang Yowei is that he must have discovered this and planned to use the power of jade in Nangang Yowei's body to improve his own strength. That's it? Such a thing actually happens. After learning about Nangang Yowei's situation, although Nangang Yu also wanted to become stronger, he was not a scumbag yet. I also have a father who is always in the Nangang family and never leaves. Nangang Yu also knew that it would not be his turn to do anything about this matter, so he might as well give it to Su Yang directly to please Su Yang. Nangang Yu continued, it was at that time that my father brought back Yowei, who was just a baby. But about 20 years ago, my father's realm suddenly regressed for some unknown reason, and it was comparable to the realm of a substitute, so I can't tell which one is the real one. This piece of jade is very strange. It is an excellent furnace. Once fused, it can absorb the power of the jade and its strength will be greatly improved. Thanks. Nangang Yu was very shocked. He didn't expect that a stone could turn into a human form and live by his side for 20 years. Besides, the person transmitting the message from the soul is Nangang Yowei, who is practicing with his eyes closed. There is also a father. This sounds really awkward. As soon as Su Yang finished speaking, and before Nangang Yu could answer, an ethereal female voice sounded in his mind. Su Yang asked curiously, isn't that very dangerous? The substitute can turn against the master at any time. Su Yang refused. Moreover, if he absorbs the power of jade, Nangang Yowei will definitely regain his true form and become a yin and yang Pisces again. Su Yang smiled and then asked, did I kill him with his real body or a clone? Nangang Yu replied, my father possesses the yin and yang Pisces. Using the yin and yang Pisces, he can suppress the substitute. If you still have time, please give me a small hand and give me a small flower. If you have the conditions, please give me a like. It's not easy to create, so please help me. Not sure. I see. Su Yang suddenly realized, and then smiled and said, then the explanation makes sense. Nangang Yin's decline in realm must be related to Nangang Yowei. Reporting to the master, Yin-Yang Pisces has a magical function. It can copy another self. My father copied it a long time ago. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 685. Nangang Yowei spoke and directly sent a message to Su Yang's soul to express his gratitude. Apparently, he heard the conversation between Su Yang and Nangang Yu. Why thank you? I just didn't want your body, so I don't have to say thank you. Su Yang smiled softly and transmitted the same message from his soul. Seeing my true identity, and knowing that using the power in my body can improve my own strength, but choosing to give up, I believe that very few people in the world can do that. Nangang Yowei then sent a message, Su Yang, in short, thank you. I will write down the favor today. I owe you a favor. If there is a chance in the future, I will pay it back. Haha, it's not necessary. I'm not as noble as you think. The main reason why I didn't choose to combine with you is because your body is a stone. Su Yang joked, no matter how hungry Su Yang, am, I won't be able to eat a stone a day, right? It's so hard, it hurts just thinking about it. Water droplets can penetrate rocks, but mine can't penetrate them, Su Yang said with a playful smile. You. Nangang Yowei was originally full of gratitude to Su Yang, but when he heard these words, his face suddenly turned ugly, and he gritted his teeth and said, if it weren't for the critical moment of my cultivation and it was inconvenient to end my cultivation, I would definitely make you look good. Haha, that's right. I still like women to have a bad impression of me. Su Yang smiled softly and said, after all, if a man as good as me is merciful, he will be very tired, and his iron body will not be able to bear it. Huh, you're a prodigal, Nangang Yowei said coldly. Haha, okay, I won't joke with you anymore, let me ask you a few questions. Su Yang smiled, and then said, you are a yin-yang Pisces. You absorb the essence of the sun and the moon to produce spiritual intelligence. You must have experienced a long time and witnessed the scenery of the earth for tens of thousands of years. I want to know what happened to the earth more than 2,000 years ago. Why did the immortal emperor from outside the territory want to capture the earth? Was there any treasure on the earth that attracted them? Also, the more I look at the magic circle that protects the earth, the more I feel that it does not appear to be a natural formation. It should be left by the ultimate powerful. Has the earth ever given birth to a powerful person who surpassed the immortal emperor? Su Yang asked continuously. Who am I to answer you? Nangang Yue said lightly. Tisk, tisk, women can change their attitude quickly. Just now they kept saying they owed me a favor, but now they don't want to talk to me. It's not because you spoke so openly, Nangang Yue said coldly. If you apologize to me now, maybe I will consider telling you what I know. Apologize. Su Yang smiled and said, that's impossible. How could I apologize to a stone girl? Stone girl. Unexpectedly, when Nangang Yue heard Su Yang's new name for her, she was immediately furious. She was so angry that she almost lost her balance. She gritted her teeth and said, you are the stone girl, Su Yang. If you say such arrogant words again, be careful that I will blow myself up, kill you. Although my strength is not as good as yours, you also know that I am a yin-yang Pisces. I have accumulated nearly 100,000 years of energy, and the energy generated by my self-destruction can not only kill you, but can even destroy half of the south. Nangang Yue added, Master Fengzi is interested in me and wants to take my power. He is an outsider. Naturally, I would rather die than obey. I plan to use self-destruction to deal with him, but if you are looking for death, I will not. I would like to help you. While speaking, Nangang Yue was still in a state of cultivation, but it could be seen that she was really angry, with a trace of anger on her face. No, 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 calm down. Su Yang nodded, then asked curiously, she knew, if you continue to practice like this, what state can you reach? Humph, you dare to say that? Ahem. When Su Yang heard this, he was immediately stunned, with astonishment written all over his face. What does a stone girl mean? Doesn't it mean a woman made of stone like you? Su Yang said blankly. After pausing for a few seconds, Nangang Yu's mentality recovered a little, and he responded, although I developed spiritual intelligence very early, I have always been controlled by the Nangang family and have not come into contact with other powerful people on the earth. I'm not a stone girl, I'm very moist. But this old guy has no good intentions and wants to wait for me to grow up before asking for the power in my body. Fortunately, half a year ago, both of his bodies were killed. Shut up. Su Yang hurriedly said, okay, let's not talk about this topic anymore. If you know about the problems I had before, please tell me. I don't know if you moisturize it or not. After all, I haven't tried it, but I have to explain that I never meant it. I'm convinced. However, as far as I know, there was a quasi-emperor in the Nangang family more than 2,000 years ago, who later disappeared. When Nangang Yue saw Su Yang being so serious, she immediately felt embarrassed. Thinking back to what she had just said, she was instantly ashamed. I don't know. Su Yang explained, I just thought you were a piece of jade, so I called you Stone Girl. I didn't mean that, I can swear. Ah. Quasi-emperor. Nangang Yue said angrily, don't think that I don't know what the Stone Girl means. I have been in human form for 20 years and have experienced all kinds of human tastes. Nangang Yue said, thanks to you for erasing Nangang Yin's true identity in Wudang Mountain. Nangang Yue shook his head, and then said, if the spiritual energy is revived, in more than 10 years, I can at least set foot on the quasi-emperor. Su Yang was shocked and couldn't help but said, is it so scary? You are just turning a fake elixir now, and you haven't even set foot on the real elixir. Can I listen to it for free? Also, Nangong Yowei said in a deep voice, stone girls describe those women who are unable to do things between men and women. They cannot be emotional and are like stones. I am different. I do not know. Well, when I was still a yin-yang Pisces, he wanted to forcefully claim my power, so he got the backlash and his realm slipped. Nangong Yowei continued, it was also because I absorbed part of his power that I evolved into a human form by chance. It turns out that Nangong Yin of Wudang Mountain is the rightful owner. Nangong Yowei added, the person who controlled me before in the Nangong family was Nangong Yin. After I turned into a human form, I called him Grandpa. Although I haven't tried that kind of thing, I am definitely not a stone girl. I am very moist. I see. Su Yang said with an innocent face, what's wrong with calling you stone girl? Your body is a stone, and you are originally a stone girl. Why do you still care about your true body? Are all girls nowadays so dirty? I obviously didn't mean this, but she could relate to the stone girl. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 686. Unbelievable. Nangong Yowei smiled softly and said, I have absorbed the essence of the sun and the moon for 100,000 years, transformed into a human form to cultivate, and set foot on the quasi-emperor for more than 10 years. Is this a normal speed? That's right. Su Yang nodded. Although it was a bit exaggerated, I had to say that the stone girl was really terrifying. Do you still have any questions? If not, I will continue to retreat, Nangong Yowei said. Gone. Su Yang smiled softly and said, little stone girl, come on, remember, you still owe me a favor. I hope that in the near future, you can achieve the throne and protect me when the time comes. No problem, wait, don't call me stone girl, Nangong Yowei gritted his teeth. Okay stone girl, Su Yang said casually. You. Nangong Yowei said coldly, humph, let's not argue with you for now. When I come out of seclusion next time, I will make sure you look good. After saying that, Nangong Yowei calmed down and unilaterally closed the voice chat. Su Yang smiled and did not continue to tease Nangong Yowei, but looked at Chang Feng's body. Haha, yes, he was once in the realm of a god. Although his realm has declined since he came to Earth, his physical body is still that of a god. If you can make good use of it, you can cultivate a cultivator in the nascent soul realm. Su Yang showed a smile, and then said, Nangong Yu, sit cross-legged, you can start now. Yes. Nangong Yu was extremely excited and hurriedly did as Su Yang said, waiting quietly for Su Yang to operate. I will close your consciousness in a moment so that you can't perceive everything. After the matter is completed, you will naturally become conscious. Su Yang continued, by then, you can at least step into the late nascent soul stage. Nascent soul late stage. Nangong Yu was extremely excited at first, but then he said, Master, there is something ominous about the earth. I'm afraid I. Don't worry about the ominous situation. Su Yang smiled softly and said, this Chang Feng can ignore the ominous situation. There must be a treasure in his body. I will take it away and give it to you. In this way, you can ignore the ominous situation. Okay, everything will follow the master's arrangements. Nangong Yu said with a trembling voice, and then slowly closed his eyes. Well, I'm starting. Su Yang nodded, then waved his hand, and Nangong Yu instantly lost consciousness. Then, Su Yang kneaded the secret with both hands, and in an instant, a bright light was released, covering Chang Feng's body. Like this, about half an hour later, Su Yang stopped and the light dissipated. At this moment, Chang Feng's body only left the arm corresponding to Nangong Yu, and all other parts disappeared. There were only bones on the ground and no blood on the ground. Because all the essence and blood in his body had been extracted by Su Yang and integrated into the remaining arm. At this moment, this half of the arm contained all of Chang Feng's power, which was so terrifying. The dragon scales of the flame dragon immortal emperor. At this time, Su Yang spread his palms and revealed a playful smile. It is because of this thing that Chang Feng can ignore the ominous things. This is actually a good thing. External masters must have similar things, either dragon scales or weapons containing the power of imperial weapons. I didn't pay attention to these before. Su Yang smiled softly and said, if you try to kill foreign masters in the future, you should pay attention. Including Chang Feng, Su Yang has already killed 3 foreign masters. In Kunlun Mountain, he killed 1 person before retreating and 1 person after retreating, but he did not collect anything like this that could shield the ominous. Because Su Yang felt that the earth's spiritual energy would soon recover, and it would be useless to have such a thing. But now it seems that keeping and cultivating confidence is a good choice. The preparations for grafting limbs have been completed and can begin now. Su Yang sat cross-legged behind Nangong Yu, quickly kneading the secrets with his hands, and his whole body was filled with spiritual energy. Time flew by, half a day passed quickly, and Su Yang finally stopped. When the light dissipated, Nangong Yu at the scene was already intact, with half of his arms restored to their original state. And at this time, the power exuding from Nangong Yu's body was very terrifying and powerful. Judging from the aura, he had already entered the late nascent soul stage. Originally, he was in the fake elixir realm and had broken the golden elixir more than once. Therefore, with the help of Chang Feng Lim, Nangong Yu broke through to the core formation, and it was a matter of course. Coupled with the assistance of the golden dragon scales, which shielded the ominous situation, Nangong Yu could advance one after another and reach the peak of pill formation at a terrifying speed. Then he shattered the golden elixir and entered the nascent soul realm. Because Chang Feng's limbs belong to the realm of spiritual transformation, and Su Yang has concentrated them, the energy in that half of the arm is very huge. After Nangong Yu advanced to the early stage of yuanying, he did not stop the pace of promotion. It was not until the late stage of yuanying that his realm stabilized. Later stage of nascent soul. Su Yang looked at his masterpiece with satisfaction, smiled softly and said, not bad, it has an extra boost. After talking to himself, Su Yang raised his hand and waved, and the next moment, Nangong Yu woke up. At this moment, Nangong Yu stood up, feeling the huge power in his body, and said with joy, I have really stepped into the realm of yuanying. In the nascent soul realm, I have a lifespan of thousands of years. I didn't expect that I, Nangong Yuninj, would achieve what I do today, ha ha ha. After being overjoyed, Nangong Yu looked at Su Yang beside him and knelt down with a plop, his eyes full of respect. Thank you, Master. From now on, this life of mine belongs to you, Nangong Yu said in awe, not daring to go any further. Although he had entered the late nascent soul stage, he was already convinced by Su Yang, and with the soul contract, he naturally had no intention of resisting. Well, even if you don't tell me, your life is still mine. Su Yang smiled softly and said, don't talk about nascent soul, even if you step into the gods and overcome the tribulation, as long as you dare to be disobedient to me, I can still make your soul fly away with just one thought. I don't dare, the villain Nangong Yujan said tremblingly. It better be so. Su Yang smiled, and after knocking, he murmured to himself, the power of the earth's laws does exist. Before I set foot in the nascent soul realm, the reason why there was no thunder tribulation was because I was in the protective formation, isolated. After the thunder tribulation, Why did Nangongyu break through to nascent soul and not have the thunder tribulation be born? With this in his mind, Su Yang glanced at Nangongyu, who was practicing next to him, and suddenly understood. Thunder tribulation came, but it was all absorbed by her. Thunder tribulation is also considered the power of heaven and earth, yin and yang Pisces. This thing is not simple. Even in the Xiantian star territory, the yin-yang Pisces is considered the ultimate creature. Her future achievements will surely be astonishing. I hope she can become a helper against the immortal emperor from outside the territory. Su Yang smiled softly, and then said, Nangongyu, let's set off to Jufeng Mountain. Yes. Nangongyu responded respectfully. Stone girl, I look forward to seeing you out of seclusion and seeing you again. Then remember to let me see if you are moisturized or not. Before leaving, Su Yang did not forget to tease Nangongyu. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 687. Su Yang. Although Nangongyu was practicing, she still heard Su Yang's teasing words. Her lips were trembling with anger and she wished she could eat Su Yang alive. But then, Nangongyu suddenly noticed that his mood was affected and actually improved. For a long time, my heart has been calm. Even if Mr. Fengzi said that he wanted to take the energy in my body, I was still calm because he didn't take any action. I am Nangongyin's favorite granddaughter. My father is Nangongyu, the head of the Nangong family. No one has dared to be arrogant to me since I was a child. Nangongyu thought to himself, in addition, I have a heart made of stone. My emotions rarely fluctuate, so it is naturally difficult to improve my state of mind. I was slightly relieved by Su Yang's anger just now. Nangongyu couldn't help but guess, could it be that Su Yang had noticed it a long time ago, so he made fun of me, just to help me practice. With this thought in his mind, Nangongyu's expression was complicated, and he suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Su Yang helped me so much, but I just wanted to kill him. I shouldn't. Su Yang, I owe you another favor. I, Nangongyu, know how to repay my kindness. When I come out of seclusion, I will definitely repay you. After talking to himself for a while, Nangongyu calmed down and devoted himself to cultivation. Only. Su Yang had no idea about Nangongyu's psychological activities, because he didn't think about it that much and was really just teasing Nangongyu. In Wudang Mountain half a year ago, although Su Yang had little communication with Nangongyu. But Nangongyu is on the same front as the ancient clan, and went to Wudang Mountain to prevent the ancient martial arts from reforming. Su Yang remembered this matter clearly, so he started teasing and giving Nangongyu some color, but he didn't expect that he got it right. After leaving the Nangong family, Su Yang and Nangongyu took a helicopter and headed straight to Jufeng Mountain in southern Anhui without wasting time. A few hours later, the Nangong family's helicopter landed at a manor outside Jufeng Mountain. This is the territory of the Nangong family. The building area is not large, which is just suitable for settling down. Master, there is a butler and 3 servants in the manor, but there are no masters. After getting off the helicopter, Nangongyu said respectfully, the battle between Wu Qingying and Mr. Fengzi will start tomorrow. Will you stay here tonight, or go directly to Jufeng Mountain? Go to Jufeng Mountain, you come with me, Su Yang said lightly. On top of Jufeng Mountain, there are thousands of mountains of snow, and there are his 2 children, Su Yuyu and Su Zeng. After the reform of Gwu, Su Yang has been in seclusion and has not seen them for half a year. Yes. Su Yang stopped and said in a calm tone, is this how you, Jufeng Mountain, treat your guests? He. Where is our alliance leader? Why haven't we heard from him in the past 6 months? He single-handedly started the ancient martial arts revolution and once burst out with terrifying combat power. If he can appear, he may be able to maintain the ancient martial arts world. Snort. It is no exaggeration to say that once Jufeng Mountain is captured, the ancient martial arts world will be completely defeated. One of the leading young men said with an unkind expression, "The old alliance leader has an order that all the disciples from the ancient martial arts community who have defected are not allowed to enter Jufeng Mountain. You too, please leave quickly, otherwise don't blame me for waiting for you. The ancient martial arts forces all over the earth have been almost destroyed. Only Jufeng Mountain has not been invaded by outsiders." Bypassing them, Su Yang took Nangongyu and flew straight to Jufeng Mountain. "Didn't Senior Wu say that she can at least take away Mr. Fengzi? Tomorrow's crisis will not be difficult to resolve." Nangongyu nodded respectfully, and then followed Su Yang to Jufeng Mountain. On the next day, Master Fengzi will lead the masters of the ancient tribe to cleanse Jufeng Mountain. The visitor is a guest. Behind him, 20 or 30 Jufeng Mountain disciples all drew their swords, pointing directly at Su Yang and Nangongyu. The nascent soul masters who came to the earth this time are not only Mr. Fengzi. Besides him, there are 9 people, all of whom are on the same level as him. Even if Mr. Fengzi dies, the ancient martial arts world is still in danger. There is no second Senior Wu in the world. Hey, it's the earth. Maybe there is someone who can compete with the masters from outside the territory. At this moment, it was already late at night. The young man in the camera said in a deep voice, "What nonsense are you talking about? If I tell you to leave, you can leave. If you don't, then be prepared to be obliterated." Yes, Su Yang's real level is foundation building, and he was promoted during the 100 sex martial arts competition. It's only been half a year. How strong he can be, he might not even be as good as me. I have at least reached the level of martial master. Comparable to the early stage of elixir formation, the third level fake elixir may not be my opponent. It's only half a year. Su Yang will never set foot on the third level fake elixir, right? Who? You mean Su Yang? Forget it. As far as I know, in Wudane Mountain half a year ago, he only used Wudane Mountain's formation, so he always had the strength to defeat Nangongyin in a short period of time. Su Yang smiled coldly, "The last person who wanted to kill me is already dead. Are you sure you want to talk to me in this tone? The realm of the 9 revolution false pill completely surpasses the real pill formation. Senior Wu can easily defeat Xiahao Wu, so he must have entered the realm of the martial saint. He is not yet strong enough to face young Master Fengzi." That night, the many ancient warriors who had fled to Jufeng Mountain were destined to be unable to sleep. They gathered together in 2s and 3s and talked about it. If Senior Wu loses, not only will Jufeng Mountain be destroyed, we will also be implicated, and even the entire ancient martial arts world will no longer see hope. Do you still need to ask? Of course, it was Suwuji who dominated an era more than 100 years ago. At that time, he had already passed through the nascent soul thunder tribulation. If he had survived to this day, he would definitely be able to fight Master Fengzi. Nowadays, a group of Jufeng Mountain disciples discovered Su Yang and Nangongyu and stepped forward to stop them. Tomorrow is the moment of life and death for the ancient martial arts world. Soon, in front of the gate of Jufeng Mountain. Hey, I wonder if Senior Wu Qingying can defeat Mr. Fengzi and preserve the last dignity of the ancient martial arts world. With that said, the leading young man pulled out the long sword in his hand and stared at Su Yang coldly. The Lord of Shihan in the place of Zen is already at the pinnacle of the ancient martial arts world. However, he has used the Taishan magic skill, but he is still defeated by Yuanying. He has been captured by Master Fengzi and imprisoned in the Shangguan family, Bodhi Mountain, and Lishan Mountain. Mount Imei and many famous mountains have also been captured. Who else can carry the banner of the ancient martial arts world? Su Yang and Nangongyu passed by and naturally heard the conversation of these people, but they didn't pay attention to it. Suwuji, the hope of the human race, but unfortunately, he has been killed by the thunder calamity, and there is no trace of his body left. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 688. Where do these arrogant people come from? They dare to act so arrogantly in Jufeng Mountain. They don't know how to live or die. The leading young man held a long sword, a flash of anger flashed in his eyes, and he was about to take action immediately. Second brother, wait a minute. At this moment, a Jufeng Mountain disciple came out from behind and said in a hurry, I know this person. He is the leader of the Guwu Alliance and a descendant of the Su family, Su Yang. Immediately afterwards, this disciple walked up to Su Yang, clasped his hands in his fists, and greeted Su Yang politely with a smile on his face. Master Su, I'm sorry. My second brother was in seclusion half a year ago and did not participate in the 100 sex martial arts competition, so he did not go to Wudane Mountain. Therefore, I don't know you. Please forgive me. The disciple was tall and thin and said with a smile, it's been half a year since we last said goodbye. It's great to see you here today. It's you. I have an impression of you. Su Yang's eyes fell on the tall and thin young man. He had a good attitude towards him at Jufeng Inn in Wudane Mountain. Su Yang also felt the sincerity of the other person, so he remembered him. I didn't expect Mr. Su to still remember me. Haha, this is my honor. My name is Wu Feng, and Wu Qingying is my aunt. The tall and thin young man introduced himself to his family, then made a way out, and took the initiative to invite, Master Su, hurry up, please come inside. Su Yang nodded, and then walked into the gate of Jufeng Mountain with Nangong Yu. Stop. But at this time, the leading young man said with an unhappy look on his face, Wu Feng, let all the bullshit go into Jufeng Mountain. Have you forgotten the old alliance leader's instructions? Second brother. Wu Feng hurriedly smiled and said, Master Su is not an outsider. He is the father of Yu Yu and Zeng. His relationship with our alliance leader. You shut up. The leading young man interrupted and said coldly, don't mention this in front of me. As he said that, he moved his eyes to stare at Su Yang and said in a deep voice, you are Su Yang, you bitch, you are so brave, you dare to touch Schwetter. I have always been worried about this for so many years. I didn't expect that when I broke through to Martial Lord, you would come to my door yourself, ha ha ha. Come on, let me see how strong the so-called descendant of the Su family, the leader of the Guwu Alliance, really is. Second brother, don't act out of anger. Have you forgotten that Mr. Su is the one who breaks the situation in our Jufeng Mountain, Wu Feng reminded. Shit. The leading young man said disdainfully, I heard that half a year ago, he just established the foundation. It's only half a year. If he can reach the later stage of foundation building, he is already good. What can he do to break the situation? I have already reached the realm of martial master, which is comparable to the early stage of pill formation. He is not even as good as me. If he can solve the catastrophe in Jufeng Mountain, I can go up to the sky and pluck the moon. Su Yang, you have such a long title, you are a descendant of the Su family, and you are the leader of the ancient martial arts alliance. Why don't you dare to fight me? The leading young man asked provocatively. I'll fight, I'll help you, Su Yang said in a calm tone after hearing this. Master Su. At this time, Wu Feng whispered, his name is Su Er. He is the young peak master of Qingtian Peak, one of the 9 peaks. He has been friends with the leader since he was a child. When the alliance leader left Jufeng Mountain and headed to Jiangbei, Su Er didn't know about it. He thought the alliance leader was out training. When the alliance leader came back, she was already pregnant. Su Er was deeply hit and was decadent for a period of time, and then he couldn't come out of seclusion. Wu Feng continued, Su Er's cultivation talent is the best among the younger generation in Jufeng Mountain, except for the alliance leader. After 4 or 5 years of seclusion, he has reached the peak of Tianzong. It happened that the ancient martial arts revolution started. He took the opportunity to step out and reach Shenzhen, becoming the second person among the younger generation of Jufeng Mountain to set foot in Shenzhen. Wu Feng continued, after he was promoted to Shenzhen, my aunt saw that he was a man of talent, and gave him a little guidance, and even provided a lot of resources from Jufeng Mountain. Therefore, he was able to set foot in the realm of martial master in half a year. Master Su-er's strength should not be underestimated, and he is full of hatred for you. In my opinion, you should avoid the limelight for the time being, Wu Feng reminded. Thank you for reminding me, but it's not necessary. It's just a martial arts master. I can handle it. Su Yang smiled, met Su-er's gaze, and said lightly, little brother, take action. What a terrifying method. This move, even in the middle stage of the martial master, will probably have to avoid its edge. Little dick. What did you call me? Su-er was instantly furious when he heard this. Su Yang. The foundation he built half a year ago, and how strong he is after half a year, is probably because the old man around him supports him. As expected of a genius trained by Senior Wu Qingying, his strength is indeed terrifying. Zheng. But Su Yang's two fingers seemed to have infinite power, making it impossible for his sword to move any further. Su-er was also deeply involved. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his body suddenly retreated, and then he fell heavily to the ground, his face extremely pale. Su Yang's status was indeed very high in Jufeng Mountain. In order to avoid unnecessary complications, Su-er planned to make a quick decision and directly kill Su Yang and end it all at once. This is impossible. Doesn't this refer to chicken? We call chickens the second child. Next moment. It seems that Su Yang is dead. He has not resisted so far. He probably doesn't even have the strength to fight back. Haha, little boy, this is a very unique title. You kid, who the hell is your little brother? Little brother also means chicken. After the words fell, Su-er didn't hesitate, and he immediately came to kill with his sword. The billowing true energy condensed to form a terrifying sword force, and he slashed down directly. With a flick of Su Yang's finger, the sword force released by Su-er instantly collapsed. Not far away, many ancient warriors who came to join Jufeng Mountain were talking with smiles on their faces. Ha ha ha, my little brother, what a coincidence, it's the same with us over there. Su-er was taken aback, showing an expression of disbelief, and then increased his strength, trying to chop down. Yes, it doesn't matter if he is a cultivator, but he is too weak. The leader of the ancient martial arts alliance is a capable person. If he can't even defeat the martial lord in the early stage, why should he be the leader of the ancient martial arts alliance? Su-er naturally heard what those people were talking about. He was already angry. Now he was so angry that he gritted his teeth and said, "Huh, how dare you insult me? I want you to die today." What? Today, for the sake of Schwer and Senior Kinsha, I won't kill you. If there is a next time, I will kill you without mercy. This move is a special move that he has practiced hard for a long time, and it is also his strongest move. There were many ancient warriors at the scene, including many sect leaders and alliance leaders in the martial master realm. They could have stepped forward to resolve Su Yang's crisis, but no one took action to stop them. After defeating Su-er with one move, Su Yang looked down at him from a high position and threatened with cold eyes, "If you don't have the strength, don't talk about death casually. This will only hurt yourself." Su Yang raised the corner of his mouth and said, "Why, can't you? Little dick." Where does Su Yang get the courage to dare to challenge Su-er, who is in the martial master realm? Doesn't he want to live? Just when everyone thought Su Yang was bound to die, Su Yang raised his arm, stretched out two fingers, and suddenly caught the sword strike from Su-er. "If you die, you will die." He started the revolution in ancient martial arts. I am grateful to him. It was he who brought about earth-shaking changes in the ancient martial arts world. But he is a cultivator, and his strength does not qualify him to be the leader of the ancient martial arts alliance. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 689. Win. Su Yang took action at will and defeated Su Er, who was in the martial master realm, with just one move. What happened at the scene exceeded everyone's expectations and left everyone stunned. Ju, it's so easy. What realm is Su Yang in? How can he defeat the martial master realm? It's like drinking water. Wuzun is comparable to the realm of pill formation. Isn't it possible that Su Yang has advanced to the realm of pill formation? Do you still need to ask? He must have formed a pill, and he is not in the early stage of pill formation. Judging from his strength, he must be at least in the middle or late stage of pill formation, right? It's only been half a year. In half a year, he has crossed a huge realm. He is worthy of being the chosen one who can start the transformation of ancient martial arts. It seems that he will become the hope of our ancient martial arts world. No wonder he can start the revolution in ancient martial arts. It seems that the prediction of the old master of Tianji sect is correct. The person who starts the revolution in ancient martial arts is the last hope of the ancient martial arts world and will eventually lead the rise of the ancient martial arts world. I apologize. I underestimated the leader just now. I am a frog in the well. Leader Su. Leader Su. Leader Su. After everyone at the scene reacted, their attitude towards Su Yang changed dramatically. At the beginning, they were not optimistic about Su Yang at all, thinking that Su Yang would definitely lose, and even questioned whether Su Yang was worthy of being the leader of the alliance. But now, everyone looked at Su Yang with awe in their eyes. When they mentioned Su Yang, their faces were full of respect, as if they already regarded Su Yang as the leader of the ancient martial arts alliance. In fact, they cannot be blamed for such a huge change. During this period, the top 10 ancient clans and experts from outside the territory invaded the ancient clan forces in the world. The other party was so powerful that they had no power to fight back or even dared to resist, so they left their homes and fled to Jufeng Mountain to seek refuge. Now they are completely helpless, immersed in endless darkness and fear. Therefore, their mentality of despising the weak and respecting the strong is most vividly displayed. They didn't know Su Yang's strength before, so they still looked down on Su Yang and mocked him mercilessly. But now, knowing that Su Yang could easily defeat Wuzun and that he had made such great progress in half a year, these people realized that Su Yang was truly the chosen one and the darling of the earth. They were helpless and hesitant, but Su Yang, like a ray of light in the darkness, shined into their hearts and became their faith. These people regard Su Yang as the last straw to save the ancient martial arts world, and naturally they highly respect Su Yang. Su Yang noticed the change in everyone's attitude and didn't pay too much attention. Whether it is ancient warriors or the world of cultivation, the strong have always been admired, and the weak will always be despised. Su Yang has long been used to this, so of course he won't take it to heart. Su Yang. At this time, Su Er stood up from the ground with difficulty, his eyes fell on Su Yang, and he gritted his teeth and said, "You defeated me with one move. I admit that you are very strong, I am not as good as you. But I still want to scold you. You are just a coward and a heartless dog," Su Er said coldly. Su Yang still admires this kind of man. Wu Feng couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He really didn't dare to disobey Su Yang's wishes, so he had to agree. Su Yang's eyes were about to burst, and he said in a deep voice. The whole body exuded a terrifying power, making the scene violently windy and filled with dust. "I want you, take me there." With the effect of being so close to the end of the world, He came to Su-er in an instant, grabbed Su-er's clothes, and asked, "What's wrong with Shwe-er? Tell me, what happened?" At this time, Wu Feng, who was next to him, stepped forward to support Su-er and reminded him in a low voice, "Second brother, stop talking. You were so rude to Mr. Su just now. Mr. Su has already given you enough face if he doesn't kill you. Never say anything rude again." The ancient warriors who were watching in the distance, including the warrior master and below, were all trembling with fear, their bodies were unstable, and they were swaying around. The blow just now took less than 10 days and a half, and Su-er was definitely unable to recover. Su-er said with disdain, "If you are a man, how can you bear to see a woman who has given birth to your child go through such pain? Get out of here, that's what I want to say." Su-yang. After the three of Su-yang left, everyone at the scene was talking a lot, especially someone who noticed the old man who was always behind Su-yang. "Shut up." Seeing this, Su-er next to him said seriously, "If you can revive Shwe and return to normal, from now on, I will only obey you. If you violate this oath, you will be punished by heaven and earth." At least what he said, even if he was dissatisfied with himself or hated himself, he expressed it openly and did not hide it secretly in his heart. I don't know the specific situation. Only the old alliance leader and senior Wu know about it, but at the beginning of every month, Shwe'er's painful wails will echo in Jufeng Mountain. Su-er gritted his teeth and roared, "You have become a turtle, hiding and never showing up. Do you know how painful Shwe is now? Do you know what she endures every day?" Su-yang only glanced at him, and then left with Wu Feng, naturally accompanied by Nangong Yu, the head of the Nangong family. But 6 months ago, she fell into a deep sleep, and her life or death was uncertain. "Where were you? As the leader of the Gewu Alliance, I order you to take me to see Shwe." Su-yang spoke again, with a tough tone that could not be refused. As for him being rude to him, Su-yang has already taught him a lesson. Snored. When Su-yang heard these words, his face turned ugly, and his heart was instantly tightened. The heart-rending howl echoed throughout the Jufeng Mountain, which lasted for a long time and was heartbreaking. "Second brother. This is..." When Su-yang heard this, he met Su-er's gaze, with a sharp look in his eyes. Su-er was neither humble nor arrogant, and responded, "Half a year ago, after returning from Wudane Mountain, she fell into a deep sleep, and she still doesn't know whether she is alive or dead." Su-yang casually threw Su-er away, and then said, "Wu Feng, where is Shwe sleeping? Take me there. Half a year has passed since I set foot on the Pill Formation. Su-yang, I'm convinced. You are worthy of Shwe, but I am not as good as you. You don't know anything. Why do you have Shwe like this? Mr. Su, I know where the Alliance leader sleeps, but it is a forbidden area in Jufeng Mountain. Only the old Alliance leader and senior Wu are eligible to enter," Wu Feng said with a bitter smile. Su-er pushed Wu Feng away with force, then stared at Su-yang and said coldly, "Su-yang, Shwe did not hesitate to lose her reputation and bear the infamy to give birth to 2 children for you." Su-er looked at the leaving figures of Su-yang and the others, feeling disappointed, but not as good as that. He murmured to himself, "I hope you can save Shwe and save Jufeng Mountain." This Su-yang's impression of him is not too bad. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 690. Why does that person look more and more familiar? He looks a bit like Nangong Yu, the head of the Nangong family. I thought I was the only one who thought so. Not only does he look alike, his facial features are exactly the same as Nangong Yu's. The Nangong family controls half of the south. After Master Fengzi came to Earth, he temporarily lived in the Nangong family. It is said that one of the 4 ancient martial arts masters who came to Earth more than 100 years ago, Lord Changfeng, was the father of Master Fengzi. the relationship between Master Changfeng and the Nangong family is unusual. In addition, Mr. Fengzi also takes great care of the Nangong family. The Nangong family is allowed to expand its territory. Why would Nangong Yu follow alliance leader Su? I heard that Mr. Fengzi went to Kunlun Mountain a few days ago and turned Kunlun Mountain upside down. He also brought many of the Su family's cronies from Kunlun Mountain back to the Nangong family, including the father and grandfather of alliance leader Su. Really or not, then alliance leader Su still has to settle accounts with the Nangong family. Wait, could it be that alliance leader Su has already gone to the Nangong family? He killed everyone in the Nangong family and conquered the head of the Nangong family, Nangong Yu. No way, Lord Changfeng is overseas in the Nangong family, and Changfeng has returned to the nascent soul realm a few months ago. Although leader Su is strong, he is not that strong, right? Then what's going on with Nangong Yu? Why is he following alliance leader Su and looking so respectful to alliance leader Su? Everyone was very confused. At this time, it is 100 miles away from Jufeng Mountain. A handsome young man stood with his hands behind his back, looking at the stars. He was Mr. Fengzi. He has finished his training and has returned to his best condition. He is full of confidence in tomorrow's showdown with Wu Qingying. At this moment, next to Mr. Fengzi stood a man carrying a broken sword. This man was Jian Chen, who had escaped from Kunlun Mountain. Original. Jian Chen was in charge of the Dongfang family and was respected by the entire Dongfang family. Later, when Master Netherworld came, he was eclipsed. But there is no way. Although they are both transformed gods outside the territory, he has been weakened after all, while Genren Netherworld has retained the strength of nascent soul. Jian Chen could only show weakness and simply got along with Genren Yuming for a while, and everything was fine. As for the other powerful people who came to the earth this time, Jian Chen didn't know any of them, so naturally he didn't want to leave Genren Netherworld and join others. But Master Netherworld died, and he had no choice but to move closer to other powerful people from outside the territory. Mr. Fengzi is recognized as the strongest among the 10 people, so after Jian Chen escaped from Kunlun Mountain, he came to look for Mr. Fengzi and told Fengzi everything that happened in Kunlun Mountain. Young Master. Luo Tian Heating Furnace Formation. After hearing this, Mr. Fengzi revealed a playful smile and said with interest, "Interesting. I didn't expect that there are people on Earth who know how to arrange such a powerful formation. That descendant of the Su family is really interesting. Jian Chen, have you looked carefully to make sure he has not set foot on the pill formation?" Master Fengzi asked. "Report to Lord Fengzi, I'm sure." Jian Chen nodded and said, "Su Yang just entered Foundation establishment half a year ago, and now he is at the peak of Foundation establishment. The reason why he was able to obliterate Genren Netherworld was entirely with the help of the power of Luo Tian's furnace formation." Jian Chen said firmly, "If there is no Luo Tian heating furnace formation, Su Yang has nothing to fear. That Luo Tian heating furnace formation is really powerful. Master Netherworld didn't even last long before he was killed by the formation." Jian Chen said with lingering fear, "If I hadn't run so fast, I might have died in the formation." Mr. Fengzi smiled playfully, "It's a pity that he was eager to save people and exposed his strength to the Nangong family." "You mean, the reason Su Yang didn't kill me was because he wanted to create the illusion that he was only in the foundation building realm?" Jian Chen suddenly realized. Mr. Fengzi showed a sneer, Su Yang, you came just in time. There is a way to heaven if you don't take it. If there is no door to hell, you break in. Jian Chen, you can go too. If your performance satisfies me, maybe I will let you return to the peak of nascent soul. Jufeng Mountain. Having said this, young Master Fengzi looked at Jian Chen and said calmly, "Jian Chen, I'm afraid your information is wrong. Su Yang is not at the peak of foundation building. He must have set foot on nascent soul, otherwise he will never be my father's opponent. Because I have an appointment with Wu Qingying from Jufeng Mountain, I don't want to waste my strength. Instead, I use some tricks to deceive the person who controls the formation, and then invade Kunlun Mountain. Hearing this, young Master Fengzi said, I know that formation. I felt it when I went to Kunlun Mountain a few days ago, but I don't know what kind of formation it is. Young Master Fengzi smiled and then ordered, continue to keep an eye on Jufeng Mountain and don't allow any outsiders. Mr. Fengzi smiled softly, and then said, he is a smart man. He naturally has other purposes for letting you go. Didn't you just convey a wrong message to me? Young Master Fengzi looked at Jian Chen and smiled softly, even if you reach the peak of nascent soul, there is still a big gap between you and me. Well, what's the matter? Master Fengzi asked. Mr. Fengzi smiled and said, I also know that the descendants of the Su family are practicing in the natural formation that protects the earth, but I didn't care. I just arranged for a few cultivators at the peak of foundation building to guard them. Jian Chen's face suddenly changed, and he felt fearful. The next moment, he knelt on the ground in fear. Haha, it's just a little clever. Since he wants to hide his strength, it means that his strength is not strong enough. A truly strong person should overwhelm everything. He. Su Yang. If you deal with Wu Qingying tomorrow, you will die. I want to see how you pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger. As he spoke, Master Fengzi released a terrifying force that swept the entire place instantly. He. Good. At this moment, a dark shadow suddenly appeared, half kneeling behind Mr. Fengzi respectfully. Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family, went to Jufeng Mountain and defeated an ancient martial master in Jufeng Mountain not long ago, the black figure responded. This, actually. Mr. Fengzi smiled softly and said, presumably he can barely fight against the early Yuanying. He used the Lushan baking furnace formation to kill the Netherworld Master at the peak of the Yuanying. He was afraid that other powerful people who came to the earth this time would target him. That's why he let you go, making people think that he is a weakling, so as to achieve the purpose of pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger. Jian Chen was shocked and couldn't help but ask curiously, isn't it possible? If so, he could easily catch up with me and kill me, so why did he let me go? Jian Chen respectfully agreed. Although he was unwilling, he could only accept it. Jian Chen said with lingering fear, it seems that Su Yang should not be underestimated. Yes. Nascent soul. Lord Fengji. Master Fengzi's face darkened, and he said sternly, this Su Yang must die. Mr. Fengzi sneered again and again, turned to look at Jian Chen, and said calmly, Jian Chen, Master Netherworld is dead. I am in need of a helper. From now on, you should work by my side. Unexpectedly, he not only killed the guards I arranged, but also killed the real person Netherworld, and even broke into the Nangong family and took my father's life. It's a pity. A tiger is a tiger after all. Not everyone can complete the pretense and slap in the face.